Meet Enci, a theater actor. She's embarking on a new venture. She's trying her hand at writing and directing her first short film.
No, more than that. We have about 17 days or so.
17?
I mean, what, 30? 37?
I think we're in trouble.
Her husband, Stephen Box, explains why this venture is particularly special.
And so when Enci said she wanted to shoot a film, I don't even think there was much of a conversation about it. It was just kind of one of those, and of course it'll be sustainable. And then we realized we didn't know what that meant.
It is important for me to make this production sustainable because I've been on too many movie sets and it just, my stomach turns when I see all the waste that goes, even on a small production.
Since there isn't a pre-existing standard for a sustainable film, this is what we've come up with so far.
No film. As film decomposes, it releases eye and skin irritants and toxins into the ground. HD cameras use media cards, and their batteries can be recycled. Use natural lighting. Standard film lighting uses up large amounts of energy, creating a sizable environmental footprint. Use sustainable modes of transportation. Pick locations for production meetings that are close to public transportation. Devise sustainable ways for crew members to get to the set. Reduce your waste footprint by using biodegradables when feeding the crew. Further reduce your impact by feeding crew organic, free-range food. And lastly, work harmoniously with the community. Strive to minimize the production's impact on the neighborhood and leave it better than when you found it by planting trees, for example. By reducing your environmental footprint, you'll also reduce your neighborhood one.
I mean, in a perfect world, there'd be a gaffer, there'd be a key grip, and then there'd be...
This is Kimby Kaplan, an award-winning deaf cinematographer whom Enci is meeting with for the first time today.
So, Steven and I, we ride our bikes. You ride your bike?
No.
We're gonna get you a bike.
I don't need any more exercise.
Your heavy lifting cameras.
So we're shooting a film. We're shooting a film about the film. And we're establishing a sustainability standard for the industry.
There are a couple challenges to this project that I see right off the top of my head. It is a timepiece, so it takes place in a certain era, 1978. So I think from a production standpoint, that's certainly a challenge because you want to make it legitimate. But predominantly from my standpoint is the green aspect. It's very much a challenge because we have equipment, we have a lot of resources that need to be transported to the location, and they want to do this being as efficient as possible. And I'm used to getting a very large diesel-running U-Haul sized truck and filling it up with a ton of stuff, having some smoky gas-filled generator pumping out toxins into the environment. And now all of a sudden I'm presented with this logistical challenge of how do we eliminate that aspect altogether and still arrive with the equipment that we need to create the story that needs to be told.
Well, our DP wants a lot of equipment. So we were talking about how to haul the equipment. I don't want too much equipment. I wanted to use natural light. Now that's all going to change probably because we have to have lights and we have to have equipment. She was mentioning she would like the crew to at least carpool so that the crew is not going to be worn out and be whining about, I have to take public transportation. So that's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be interesting. I told her though that the location that we chose is 2 blocks away from the Red Line, so whatever we can, we will encourage people to take the Red Line. I'm scared.
Despite the lighting setback and potentially having to use crew unaccustomed to public transportation, Enci and Stephen push forward. Today, Enci, Stephen, and their 2 producers, Catherine and Christine, attend the East Hollywood Neighborhood Council meeting. Their objective? is to gain the first ever neighborhood council endorsement of a film project.
It's exciting for me to be here to help produce this film for a couple of reasons. It's Enci's life story is the story that we're telling, so I'm just honored to be able to help her share her story. You heard we're making a green film, and the piece to that is East Hollywood has always been committed to greening the community, to supporting sustainable forms of transportation, and it's all about bringing it back together in terms of community, and that our goal is to leave the community better than what we found it through this production. So part of the cool thing about doing this again in Northeast Hollywood is hopefully we will leave a green footprint in your neighborhood, which is our intent and purpose. So we hope you'll endorse our film. So thank you.
This is one of the projects that I think, organizations such as the neighborhood councils, nonprofits that work with youth and also with movie and production and post-production, they all should kind of look up on, because I think down the road this will be an actual model where actually it will influence real movie makers, where they spent millions of dollars and then they would spend it right in order not to leave carbon footprints locally and I would say internationally. So I would absolutely support something like this.
I'm gonna move that we support this endeavor.
Motion from Lucy and JR seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm happy. It's a happy tears. Now we can call it East Square. East Square. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for being part of this.
Thank you for asking me. Like I said, I'm loving the fact that we get to tell your story.
I really like this neighborhood council, so it would have been really bad if they would say no.
We're learning as we go.
Okay. I'll think about it. He's tweeting.
I guess we're done.